What if self-improvement might be ruining your life? All those books, podcasts, videos, courses, routines, morning rituals, productivity hacks. This could be slowly destroying your confidence without you even realizing it. And it sounds dramatic, right? But stay with me here. Self-improvement, it sounds harmless, disciplined, productive, ambitious, positive. There's a version of it that quietly turns your life into a never-ending, self-fixing project. You stop living and you just start optimizing. The trap isn't growth itself. The trap is believing you are always behind. And if you don't catch it early, it's going to steal your identity and you're playing catch up. So by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to flip this so that growth works for you, not against you. Picture this. You've got your alarm for 5 a.m. You go to the gym, hard workout, you come back, journal, have a cold shower, and start working, all done before 9 a.m. By the time most people wake up, you've done more than they will all day, which sounds great, right? But by 10 a.m., you're just feeling like, what's next? And that's because, unfortunately, as part of the self-improvement culture, there's always this belief that you're not quite enough yet. There's always that nagging feeling inside of you. Always something more, a better routine, a better physique, a higher income, a sharper, calmer, more disciplined mind. And these are all good things to aim for in theory, but in reality, what your brain does is it just makes you feel like you're never enough, and it always leaves you craving more and more and more. So you're on this never-ending treadmill. You don't reflect and feel proud of what you've built so far, and you don't take stock of where you actually are at in life at that moment. So you can win the day, but you end up feeling crap afterwards for no good reason. See, in lockdown, I was trying to do everything right. I'd lost weight. And then a couple years later, I started going to the gym, built that habit, did journaling, watched a load of self-improvement videos. I still felt directionless. I was still scrolling. I was still just feeling crap about myself to an extent. I still felt lost. Then I had layoffs and job pivots to deal with. And I was following the formula, the traditional formula that you're given as a young adult, but I still felt lost. And the rug was just getting pulled from underneath me. Despite ticking all the boxes, I still felt hollow. Like I was doing everything that I was meant to be doing, but it just wasn't happening for me. And that feeling is addictive because instead of questioning how things are, you double down. You try and have more discipline in your life, more plans, more content. And that effort changes something deeper. You stop being a person. You start becoming a project. Life isn't about enjoying each day as it comes. It's about how can I optimize my day to the nth degree, to the exact minute, the exact second of my life. It does become an obsession. You start thinking in upgrades. I'll be confident when I get the body I want. I'll be worthy when I'm earning this amount of money. I'll relax when I've figured out my purpose. But what this does to you is life just becomes about preparation, and happiness is all conditional on your sense of progress. The harder you chase that future self, the more you get out of sync with the present one. So recently, I've been trying to be more content with my life. There's an Islamic phrase called qana, which is essentially contentment. And it's not about settling. It's not settling and giving up. It's just making your life not conditional. It's not making your peace and your self-worth conditional on what you don't have. Self-improvement culture, honestly, there's a lot of good, but there's also a lot of bad. And a lot of the self-improvement culture is the opposite. It needs you to feel behind. It needs you to feel like you're worthless. And it needs you to feel like you're at rock bottom. Algorithm rewards your anxiety. You feel worse. You come back for more. Between the ages of 21 and 24, I was just planning, optimizing, overthinking, never actually got anything done. In my real life, I was like this. In my corporate life, I was just buzzing. I was always polished, performing well. But I don't know, who was I building myself for? Was I building myself for like myself, or because I needed to do it from a career point of view? And for those higher up in the company, I don't know. I was performing, I was faking it. I wasn't actually living the idea of growth. Even a lot of my earlier videos that I would just be reading out this advice and trying to apply it to myself, but I just didn't follow through with it in my own life. It felt like the advice I was giving was hollow because I wasn't practicing what I was really preaching. The side effect of this, and this hits me a lot because I'm an ambitious person, right? I just feel like there are points where when I'm resting, it just feels like failure. Why are you resting? Why are you playing games? Why are you just out wasting time with your friends? Especially on weekends, it just hits you like a feeling that you're never enough, that you've got to keep going, that there's an alternate version of you who's just like constantly on it, on it, on it. And your mind just gets scrambled. Fun doesn't feel fun. It just feels unproductive. This over obsession that you have with your life. And now you're just existing and you feel like you're falling behind. So now I want to ask you a question. How many videos have you watched on topics like time management, productivity, discipline, dopamine detoxes, and how many have you actually implemented? Even if it's just one thing from a video, be honest with yourself, please. Because yeah, I make these videos. I'm aware of the irony that I'm literally putting you through. But even as a self-improvement creator, I have these self-defeating loops all the time. I'll watch a piece of content. I'll feel motivated, like, yeah, this video has actually taught me a lot. And then I won't execute on it. I'll feel guilty. And then I'm going to search for the next video and just hit that loop again. And the thing is, you're not stuck because you lack any sort of knowledge. I think especially in my case, it's because I've actually got too much knowledge that I'm not executing. You see, I was watching a video and he put it perfectly. Like, you've got to think of the information that you take in as your metabolism. When you consume information, it sits there and starts piling up and up and up. And if you don't do anything with it, it will just become this big balloon that takes your mental bandwidth and it just slows you down. The way to kind of close this gap is to even take one thing from what you've learned and just start executing. And when you start executing, it will get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And then you'll need more information. So that's when you start taking it in. And it's this constant cycle of just learning new information, acting on it, and reflecting and keeping that going. And so that's how it was for a few years. I was watching people like Danko, Hamza, Ali Abdal, all the main kind of self-improvement YouTubers, stroke business YouTubers, and I would watch a load of their videos and never take action. It was then after my 25th birthday where I was like, right, okay, I've got to start doing more things that actually matter to me, moving my life forward, both from a enjoyment point of view, but also from a realistic, ambitious point of view as well. And the reality is it's not about how much you learn, it's about how much you put in place. Knowledge precedes action, yes, but without that action, the knowledge is wasted and it can actually be harmful as well. And it gets a lot worse when social media comes into play, which is the generation that I've grown up in, where social media has consumed every facet of our lives. Because the reality is 100 years ago, you would have been self-improving in a vacuum, your own life, your own journey. But now with social media platforms coming into play, you're now competing against the whole world. Who is improving more? Who has got more money? Who is more productive in a given day? Who has got the best routine, the best gym routine, the best workout? You see 19-year-olds making millions from their laptops. People like Speed, who are just gifted athletically and socially, making loads of money from streaming and living their best lives at such a young age, whilst you're here just sitting there like, if only I could do what they do. If only I could actually know how to make money or just even how to live a better life. That would really help me. And you hear all of the rhetoric of like, there's no excuses. There's no reason why you can't do exactly what I can do. But a lot of the times that's coming from situations where you've not actually lived your specific life. And life is unique to everybody. We all have our own problems and challenges. And this is what I like to call the double comparison trap. It's not only the internet that's telling you you're not enough, but it's actually your own culture that tells you you're not good enough. Here's what I mean. Your cousin may have landed a graduate scheme. Your uncle may be running a profitable business. Your younger cousin might have passed their GCSEs or A levels with flying grades whilst you barely passed yours. And you're constantly having comparisons to other people in your life. You're behind on everyone's timeline, but your own. So you start tracking everything: calories, sleep, output, screen time, habit streaks, and your whole life has now become a performance dashboard, not to yourself, but to show others that, hey, you're wrong. I'm doing something. And then you're going to burn out because you're just living like a machine, carrying everyone else's expectations on your small shoulders. So optimization, like, it makes you efficient. Don't get me wrong. Aligning your purpose and everything like that, it makes you very powerful. But most people are chasing efficiency and very few are chasing and building that alignment. And that's the key here. There's two types of growth. One type of growth, I need to fix myself. And this comes from a place of insecurity, maybe when you were a child or even in relationships or friendships that you've had throughout your life. Then there's a second type. I want to express myself. And that's fueled by having a clear vision, clear purpose. So optimization is all about how can I be better than yesterday? But alignment is asking, is this even the life I want to live and be better at? Maybe you don't need a stricter routine, more discipline, another habit stack. Maybe what you need are fewer goals, but ones that are actually yours, so that you are following your own, and to stop performing growth for an audience that is just not watching. And I want to say this, your 20s are the decade where you carry all of these expectations, all of these burdens, whether you know it or not. And it's not a race to the finish line. It's a decade of experiments. We're still so young. Your job isn't to win your 20s. It's to learn what game you actually want to play heading into your 30s and your 40s and your later life. So you've got to stop fixing and start aligning. And then improvement will start feeling natural. You'll actually start feeling more content, more satisfied. And most people never make this shift, but now you know why. And the best version of you is not hiding behind a better routine. It's hiding behind the you that stops waiting to arrive. And if you want to learn a bit more about how to discover what type of life you want to live, then watch this video right here, and I'll see you there. Peace out.